Our first speaker for today is Ms. Nancy Gillis. She is the CEO of the Green Electronics Council, who works to achieve a world of only sustainable ICT. And she works specifically on the power of procurement.
Thank you. So the last panel stood up. This is the last panel of the day. We're between you and a very beautiful reception this evening. So we've all agreed we're going to stand up too. One of the things that I'm talking about is something in which I do have a presentation. I'm sorry, there will not be any video. There will not be any music. There will just be me talking about one of the best ways that we can have impact in addressing climate change. So I come from a nonprofit organization that's focused, as was said, on creating a world of only sustainable ICT. We're the Green Electronics Council. We've been working for more than 12 years in the area of supporting large-scale purchasers, both public and private sector, as they make decisions on what they will buy. And in today's world, what they should and can buy is credible, sustainable ICT products. So my organization does exactly what I said. We support institutional purchasers. And those are purchasers, institutional, are the ones who make large-scale buying decisions. So instead of individual consumers, large-scale purchasers are those who buy one decision, one signature on a contract, buy hundreds or thousands of specific IT products. And those IT products are ones that our organization helps set the criteria to make sure that those products are credibly sustainable from a life cycle perspective. So that means these are products that look at things like, what did it take to pull the materials out of the ground? They look at, what did it take to manufacture those products, to assemble those products? They look at the energy use, particularly during the use phase of the product. And they increasingly have to focus on what happens to those products at end of life. What are we doing with the ever-increasing e-waste stream that is happening globally? So the Green Electronics Council, as you can see, we focus on helping large-scale purchasers because there's nothing like market demand that will change the behavior of the companies who make those products. That's why we work with institutional purchasers, both public and private sector. In 2016, surprisingly enough, there were more private sector purchasers, companies such as Marriott or Visa, who were starting to buy sustainable IT products. Before, it was really the power of governments who did it. And we are very proud that the eco-label we run, called EPEAT, that eco-label is used by 42 different countries globally. And we're also used by cities, municipalities, as a simple way to make sure that the choices that those organizations, those governments, those cities, or those companies make are for credible, sustainable IT products. So what else do we offer in that super exciting field of procurement, which I know, since all of you are here, this late in the day, you too find it the most exciting field to talk about. And I look forward to seeing you at the reception this evening and over, I hope you have a very large glass of wine, talking about the ins and outs of how procurement can help your organization. But in case you don't wish to talk to me about procurement, you can at least go to the Green Electronics Council's website. We have the necessary tools and resources freely available that can help your organization engage in the procurement of sustainable ICT products. As you see here, we have policies that you can put in place at a city level. We also have contract language examples that are pulled from the actual contracts that purchasers, public and private sector, have used to have a successful procurement. We also have guides, purchasing guides, for those areas of innovative technology or use of technologies to make sure that those who have already committed to sustainable procurement continue to be able to do so. Something such as buying sustainable cloud services. That's a very challenging concept. How do I buy a sustainable cloud? What is one? We have a guide available to help you. And we're currently in the process of creating a guide for purchasing sustainability through circularity. So what are the contract KPIs you can use to be buying more circular? How's that different than sustainability? Ask me later over that big glass of wine. So I should mention, as I said, we do have an eco-label. Why is an eco-label important? Because purchasers have a lot of things they need to pay attention to. And the easier you make it for them to buy credible, sustainable products, the more likely they are to do so. So we do have an existing eco-label that covers products in the categories noted here. Now, I'm proud to say that this eco-label offers more products by more manufacturers than any other IT eco-label globally, which is why we've had more than a decade of success in being used. And this might be a questionable positive thing to say, but at this time we are still required by the US federal government as part of their procurement processes. So whereas the US government might not believe in climate change, at least they're buying sustainable IT products. You'll notice that the areas that we're expanding to are network infrastructure. And this is one thing I want to highlight because our organization is really committed to sustainable smart cities. And by that we mean cities that are built on a sustainable base. We cannot have smart, sustainable cities that are built on unsustainable, inefficient infrastructure. And if you're interested in, well, what else do you impact outside of climate change, there are a number of topics that are interesting to cities. Of course, climate change is an area that the products that we cover very much address, but we also focus on chemicals, particularly those that are impacting workers during the manufacture and assembly phase of products, as well as, of course, the fact that those chemicals have a nasty habit of getting out of products when they're put into a landfill and exposing those communities who live around those landfills to very hazardous substances. So you'll see here some of the sustainability impact areas that our eco-label EPEAT focuses on. So again, a great pleasure to be here as part of this panel. Thank you very much. And if there's one thing that you take away from this afternoon's discussion is the power of procurement. And as you, as individuals, but more importantly, as representatives of your organizations, think in the future, think about the fact that you have a choice, as was said earlier, and that choice should be towards only credible, sustainable ICT products. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Nancy. I think the way you summarize it is actually pretty nice. It's the power of procurement. And having these kinds of procurement guides that would help private sector and so business and government actually purchase in a sustainable, in a circular way has a tremendous impact.